welcome to Vietnam. Welcome to Saigon. It's my first day exploring the famous Vietnamese food. Of course, there'll be pho. Of course, there'll be banh mi. There may even be a cookie. So, let's go eat. First stop, and it is Pho Ga Pho Cor. Not good on the Vietnamese pronunciation, so I'm not even going to try that much as I'm standing in the way already. But, as you can guess, I've come for pho. It was a toss-up between do I want banh mi first or do I want pho, and I guess pho won. This is the restaurant, plenty of seating, it's not that busy, but it got recommended to me by a friend, Vietnamese friend who lives in the area, and she told me this is one of the best pho you can get in Thao Dien. So I've come to try it. It's chicken only, chicken's a speciality here. Let's go in and order. Open kitchen, which I love that. You can see all the chicken there shredded up. Look at that. It looks amazing, actually. You can see the colour of the skin. You've got the wings here and the chicken. I believe it's higher quality chicken, which is why this place is so good. And you imagine the flavour is going to be so good. Right, order's done, and I've just come to watch them serve it. But you can see the broth. Look at that. If you wondered where the flavour was coming from, you've got the chickens, whole chickens, heads, feet, everything boiling away in there. And then the setup here, of course, with the herbs, the crispy garlic, and as I said, the shredded chicken. You even have some of the eggs. Look at that, that's like incredible. So the noodles have gone in the bottom of the bowl. It's a bit far away, I can show you guys that. And it's leg, so he's got a bit of the leg, chopping it up. The colour again, guys, the colour on that fat. Skin. Sit at the table. Big bowl of pho and quay. These little donuts, let's say, Vietnamese donuts. Oh my God, it's hot. It looks unbelievably good. Just look at the clarity of that broth. It's northern style, so northern style means you get a clearer, more simple broth, and you can see that the clarity is amazing. You've got little shreds of spring onions in there, but that meat, look at the colour of that leg meat. It's been deboned, and then that yellow skin on top. And as I said, I've ordered it with the little Vietnamese donuts, little fried things that we're going to dip in there too. On the side, communal, you have, of course, some lime. So we're going to get a little bit of lime and squeeze that in there, of course. Now I'm one-handed, so the seed or the pit is probably going in there. Some of those chilies and get them in there. I cannot tell you guys how much I'd look forward to coming and eating Vietnamese food again. It's the only reason I came here, to eat more of this amazing cuisine. And just look at those noodles, flat, northern style, as I said, flat rice noodles. Wow, silky rice noodles. And even though I haven't had any of the broth, the rice noodles have just, they're clinging on to a little bit of that broth, because although it's clear, there is a little bit of oil coming out of that chicken skin and it's clinging to those noodles. And the flavour already, let's try that broth. Oh my God. Wow. If you can imagine, like, the best, richest chicken broth you can think of, maybe, you know, when you're sick or whatever, you've had chicken broth, it's that. And then you have those subtle flavors of the spices, the acidity from the lime that I put in, but still the flavor from the chicken is what comes through. It's unbelievable. And because it's so clear, you wouldn't expect it to be so powerful, so rich. I tell you what, great recommendation. And that is just from the broth and the noodles. Let's try some of that chicken. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my. That is proper chicken. I would call it village chicken. I think it's free range. I read somewhere in the reviews that they said it's free range, and I can believe it. It's not like the chicken that we're used to anywhere, really. It's chewy, it's tough. You have to get your teeth through it, but the flavour that comes out of it because of that, the flavour that's in there because of that, you could see them crammed into that stock. That's what puts the flavour into the dish. That's what releases the flavour when you eat it. It's unbelievably good, but you have to be aware that it isn't tender. It's not like the chicken that you have back home, and that's a good thing because it's about 100 times more flavorful. And the rest, to be honest, And I'm just going to take one of those kueh and dip it in there. I mean, normally I'd put them in and let it soak, but just for you guys, we'll give it a good dip, and then we'll try it. That is such a good combo. Wow, that is such a good combo with that oily chicken. The oils that sit on top just soak into this, and they're fresh. They're fresh stale, if you see what I mean. They taste like they were cooked earlier or even yesterday, but that's what you want because it holds its structure and sucks up. When it sucks up that broth, it holds its structure. It's so good. This is what I like to do with the kueh. At the end, where there's a bit of broth left and I finish the noodles, tear it up and get it in there. Just let them soak up that broth and soften. That's the trick, guys. That's the trick. Well, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but this is what I like. The perfect way to end. An incredible pho. Stop one. I think it was 80,000, maybe 70,000. But I ordered a coffee and the kueh as well, so it's going to cost a bit more. But whatever it costs, pay it. I'm going to say it. Best pho I've ever had. Oh. Well, safe to say, I'm probably going to be coming back to this place. 105,000 for the coffee, for the kueh, and for the pho. Amazing. Anyway, let's head over and find the second thing I'm craving, banh mi. See you there. This is what I love about District 2. This is what I love about Vietnam. The tree-lined streets and the little bars and cafes and restaurants down the side. And at night, this is all lit up and really pretty. Just love this area. I love this city so much just walking around. You do, but you sometimes don't feel like you're in a big city because of the tree-lined streets and the wide roads and the pretty little cafes. They do those things so well. Anyway, I've come a bit further over, back to where I was staying the first time actually, and there's so much good food around this area, including banh mi, as I said. So, let's find one and let's eat. The guy I wanted, he's not here. It's closed. But it's on the junction here. And as I say, it's not really a problem because there's so much good stuff in this area and plenty of banh mi. And there's one over there that I've eaten before when I was last here. So we're going to head over there and grab one. But this one is good. And unfortunately, not today. Maybe he's run out. Maybe it's a day off. Doesn't really matter. But got to remember how to negotiate roads in Vietnam. It's a bit more crazy than other places, although this is pretty tame, to be honest. So let's just go for it. As people are thinking, watch the phone, watch the phone. But I've never had any problems. Anyway, down this street, so down here, there's so many good options down here. And just over here, there's a banh mi that we're going to go to. Just bringing them back. You know when you go to a place and you have such good memories, and then you come back and then you start to relive those memories? That's what I'm having right now. Got little fruit and vegetables, all sorts of things here, but this is what I'm looking for, banh mi. You can see she's got the pork. It's okay. The pork, look at that crispy pork. Pork floss, pate, the mayo, the sauces, and of course the bread baked here. Look at that light, fluffy, crispy French-style baguette. These look pretty good. They smell pretty good. You can see they're baked here because you have the oven. And then, of course, all of the onions and herbs and cucumber and pickles and cold cuts and even shumai. And then a little bit of the sauce as well. So, I guess we should order. Can I have one banh mi with everything? Yeah. Of course, with everything. So, cut it open. Oh, look how crispy and fluffy that is. Yes. Pate goes in, bit of that mayo, or Vietnamese butter, let's say. All the cold cuts, cucumber, onions and coriander, more pickles, pork floss. Chai, yes, yeah. Sorry, I keep saying yes and... Can we have crispy pork as well? Little bit of crispy pork. And then it will get wrapped up in a piece of paper and an elastic band. It's okay. Just... How much? Okay, thank you. Okay, banh mi. My first banh mi. Back in Saigon. The bread is warm, I can feel it. It was at a place called Shang Chu, something like that. Banh mi Shang Chu. She's very friendly. She didn't really want to be on camera, but very friendly. Oh man, of all the things I've missed whilst being in Asia is bread. And if you're going to have bread for the first time in a long time, there is no better way than to have banh mi in Vietnam, in Saigon. It smells incredible. We saw her make it, but let me show you. Just let me show you the inside. You can see that light, fluffy French baguette, almost like a sub roll. And inside you have those pickles, you have the cucumber, you have the pork floss, you have the mayo, a little bit of that juice that she put inside, and then the herbs, and those cold cuts and everything. Because it's so moist, it's just seeping into that fluffy, pillowy bread. But it's not just fluffy and pillowy. Look how crispy and crunchy that is, and we just want to squish it together and get all of that good juice into that banh mi. Anyway, let's stop talking about it. Let's eat it. Oh boy, have I missed this. It's almost the perfect sandwich. You can see on the inside all of those textures, all of those flavors, the richness from the pate, the acidity from the pickles, the crunch from the pickles, and then the crispy pork skin, the cold cuts, soft cold cuts, but so flavorful, each one giving it a little different flavor. And yes, I'm sat on the street. This is kind of how I want it to be, eating my banh mi, but nothing quite hits like your first banh mi back in Vietnam. And I asked her to put the chili in. Everyone thinks of Thailand being for the spicy chilies, and I forgot just how hot and spicy those green chilies are in Vietnam. Love it. Another nice dimension to that. These are great snacks, and for about $1, you're going to be eating lots of them when you're walking around, especially when you see a stall that's looking so good. It's one of those things where you don't want to stop eating, but I must, because we have more to eat. I mean, we may as well finish it now, to be honest, but they're so Moorish. Anyway, let's go find something else to eat. I'm craving fish noodles. This is the street, guys. So much going on here, so much food. And all sorts of shops, lots of action, lots of bikes passing through. Bars where you can drink. I think this is where I did a live stream with Gary, and we ate the vitlon, the fertilized duck egg. But there's a lot of food on this street, and you can just walk down and see what you fancy, because it has everything. Everything. I did want to come and make it at night because it's nice at night and there's a nice atmosphere. But when I arrived last night, it was pouring with rain, thunderstorms. It's rainy season after all. But you got cafes and fruit juice places and com tam. This is apparently a good com tam. Actually, this one is the good com tam. Always busy, I remember, with people passing through. I think it's a bit heavy for what we're looking for now. But, and this is what I also like about Vietnam, bikes everywhere. And because you pay for parking, they're all lined up nicely and looked after. Don't have to worry about that. This, I remember, was where I met my friend. Remember there were two girls here when I was walking down last time? Just sat here. Here, actually, just sat here. But just the energy of this city. People out on the street, it's lunchtime. Everyone's out having their lunch. Street vendors sat waiting for custom. Look at that. And I think the fish noodles are just down here on the corner. Well, I thought I saw it on the corner, but it was com tam. The fish noodle place isn't open yet, so I guess I'll come back later and I'll see you guys back here. All right, I waited, but I found out the fish noodles doesn't open until 5. So we're going to mix things up and we're going to come to a place that I've been thinking about, for something I've been thinking about more than any other thing in Vietnam, put together, let's say, and that is cookies. the best, without doubt, the best cookie I have had anywhere is right here. Let's go find them. Okay, here it is. You are looking for a place called Mad Wine Bar, and then you come into this courtyard. It's a very beautiful little courtyard, actually, and the cookie store is down the back. Hello. It's down the back. It's stunning. You've got, well, plants growing over a veranda. They're growing it out. It wasn't this good last time. Nice little place to hang out, actually. Music playing, people having food. But this is what we're looking for. We're looking for Annie Cookie, or Annie Cookie Store. It's on Google Maps. And as I say, they are the best. Let's go in. Oh, smells good. And this is Annie.
Hi.
And thank you. And we were going to have a laugh and pretend like, oh my God, because I filmed here before, but I came in yesterday and I had a cookie. I couldn't wait. I couldn't resist.
No surprise.
Yeah, exactly. And I did joke about saying, be surprised when I come in, but we'll keep it natural.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me show you these cookies because, as I say, they are amazing, and I will keep saying that. You have two different base types, and then you have lots of different flavors, let's say. So you have, what do we call them, the normal cookie, which are a bit more crunchy. These are normal cookies, more crunchy, more...
Yeah, they like, the texture is like cooked well.
Okay, so they're more baked,
Yes.
slightly hot, slightly firmer, slightly more crunchy, and then you have the soft, gooey, unctuous New York style cookies, and then, well, you can see how many different types there are. And they're busy. They're not just busy as a store, they're busy with orders as well. Grab drivers lining up to collect orders. Just want to show you a closer look at these cookies. Look how thick they are. I love how thick they are, and you can see they've cooked absolutely perfectly. Matcha, green matcha. All right, well, I did come early. Oh, look at this. Thank you so much. I did come early to watch her making some, because last time she showed me her making some of the cookies, but she's feeling a bit lazy, which is fine. She's been working all day. She's on her own today. Normally she has one help, and she hasn't made the dough, so it would be a lot. But what she has done, she's allowed me to taste. Let me show you. She's allowed me to taste some of that salted caramel. Look at that. If I can get it to focus. Look at that. Salted caramel. And she's even sprinkled some sea salt on top. Look at that. Guilty pleasure. You've probably heard me say before on the channel, I don't like sweet things, and that's true when they're in savoury dishes, but when they're sweet for being sweet, I love it. Oh my God. Buttery. Rich. Sweet, but not too sweet, actually. It's more of the... There's a touch of burnt caramel. Not burnt, that's the wrong word. But you know what I mean, like it's been caramelized. It's been taken further, so you get that rich butterscotch caramel flavor, and then the sea salt on top. That is amazing. All right, to be honest, guys, I've asked her just to choose for me because she's going to do a better job than me. And the thing I love most, Nutella. The thing I love most about these cookies, other than the taste, is the care. They go into the oven to be warmed up. They get warmed up for you, so they're perfect. And it's those little touches, again, with the love that gets put into it, of course, from Annie, but it's those little touches that make all the difference. Yeah. Strawberry shortcake. I think this is for strawberry shortcake, right?
Yeah.
It gets dressed up. And chocolate. Oh, chocolate onto the s'mores. I knew it was called s'mores. It's the popular name for it, isn't it? Marshmallow. And then what is this? White chocolate.
Yes.
White chocolate onto the strawberry shortcake. And this is your new creation, right? Strawberry shortcake is the new one.
Yes. I made it for last summer.
Yeah.
And
As if it could be made any better, I think she's just done it. Come on. And here they come, my tasting board of cookies. Oh, my water as well. Thank you so much. She's so kind. Thank you.
enjoy.
Thank you so much. Let me give you a quick run through. We have the Nutella, of course, with the chocolate. We have the strawberry shortcake. Just look at that with the white chocolate on top and the freeze-dried strawberries. We have the s'mores, or the marshmallow, with chocolate drizzled on. I think there's chocolate chips in there as well. And then we have the salted caramel with that amazing salted caramel in. Divine. It's pretty much a tasting board or a tasting plate of cookies. And I was saying that to her. She should actually do that because these are so good. You're going to want to try many of them. Should do a little tasting board like this. I mean, it looks pretty good. forget about the waistline. Get the cookie tasting plate out of these cookies. Anyway, let's eat. She's given me instructions that with the marshmallow one, so we'll go with that, with the s'mores one. I have to break it open for you guys on camera. And you can see the marshmallow. Oh my God. That right there is food porn. If ever you've seen it, look at that. The stretchiness. You can just see the texture on the inside. This is a New York style one, I think. So you can see it's gooey and rich and unctuous on the inside. Look at that. Let's try it. Well, she's given me a spoon, but to be honest, I'm going to use my hands with this one. Let's go. Oh my word. It's as good as I remember. Maybe even better than I remember, because I've been craving it so much. You can see how much chocolate is inside, and of course that marshmallow. But the thing I love about the best thing about these cookies, she takes the sugar right down, so they're not sickly sweet. You can just eat them and eat them and eat them, which is a good thing, so we have a lot. This one, s'mores one, it's one of the best sellers for a reason. Unbelievable. All right, strawberry shortcake. Right, spoon into that one, break it open. Oh, it's thick, it's rich, it's dense. Oh, it's thick and gooey. Again, this is the New York style. So you can see in the middle, it's very soft. Just pulls apart and you can see the texture of it. Exactly, perfect Western style, New York style cookie with those freeze-dried strawberries on top.
It is not that big one.
Now, I wouldn't expect, well, I thought it was called strawberry shortcake just as a bit of a gimmicky thing. I didn't expect to taste the strawberry flavour, but with those freeze-dried strawberries on top, which are chewy, and some inside, little pops of strawberry flavour come through, and you get the strawberry flavour coming through strongly in there. More of a classic style cookie on the inside in terms of the base. Nevertheless delicious. If I'm choosing one, well, you can see, guys, it's going to be the strawberry caramel, or, to be honest, my favourite, I think, was the s'mores. And that's the one I'm going to finish. Unbelievable. And I don't know if it's just me, because I can eat sweet things and a lot of sweet things like that, but I could keep eating. I'm not going to, because my heart and my arteries won't thank me, but thank you. Amazing. As good as last time. No, that sounds so fake. Actually, better than last time. Oh, but what a feast, guys. If you're in Saigon, or you want the best cookie, fly to Saigon. Trust me, you won't regret it. Come and try one of Annie's cookies. I'll be back. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, and see you when I visit in Thailand.
Of course. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And with that, it was off to finish this video with the fish noodles. Let's go. This is it, just on the side of the road on the little intersection is literally just a converted motorcycle. Looks like a Honda Dream. Addy would be happy. A converted Honda Dream where they've just put the seat up and they've got the street food cart on the back. And it is northern style. I know, but it looks good. Northern style fish noodles. Just on the back of here, how good does that fried fish look? Maybe with a little turmeric on the outside of it. Never had these before. And why not? As our first proper food in Saigon, why don't we have it? Because if the smell is anything to go by, it's going to be good. This is the soup. This is what's smelling so good. Just look at the colour of that soup. And I love this little genius. You've got the soup boiling away here, but because of the space, of course, I mean, it is just a little street stall. You've got the pots with water where the noodles will be cooked. They're absolutely loving it here. Always friendly entry into Saigon. All right, I've ordered one bowl with the thin white rice noodle. So, noodle into a little basket, into that pot of water, like I said, with a little bit of that veg. So quick, only seconds in the hot water. And then some of that fish cake sliced into the bowl. This crispy fried fish. How good does that look? Still with the skin on. And finally,
hot soup, dill, and what's this? Interesting, a crumb. No idea what that is. And to the table. Maybe down here. Not many seats, just a few little tables. Thank you. But come on, how good does this look? Let's try the soup. Oh, clean, so clean. Slightly salty, obviously from the fish. A fish broth is going to be slightly salty. It's going to have that flavor profile, so we're going to hit it with lime juice. And we're going to get maybe a whole lime in there. I've washed my hands, don't worry, through the fingers to catch the seeds. And then the other thing I know, which I've seen, is get the lime and just rub it on the chopsticks just to sterilize them a little bit. A little bit of that chili. I'm not sure how spicy it is, so we'll just go with a touch of that. And then I would like to get some of these onions on there as well. They smell good. But they smell slightly raw. I don't think they're as pickled as I expected. Let's give it a stir, get it mixed in, and then we'll be ready to eat. Oh wow, that chili has a punch. Maybe I even put slightly too much in there, but flavorful, fresh chili, a nice kick to it. The lime juice really cuts through the saltiness of that broth, but you still get that deep, rich, intense, fishy flavor.
I don't like that.
Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not normally a fan of fish cake, fish balls, anything like that. But just look how thinly sliced and actually tasty does that look. And you can see just the outside of it, darker. I'm not really sure what that is. Maybe they've charred it or cooked it to get that. Oh wow, the flavor is subtle of fish. It's not fishy. The texture is nice. It's not that rubbery, horrible. Well, the reason I don't like it, but it's light, it's fluffy, flavor very nice, nicely salted. But because it's been sat in that broth, it's sucked up some of the flavor of that broth. And you know what I love? Sat here on the street, literally on the street, on tiny plastic chairs, plastic tables, just eating an amazing bowl of noodles. This is exactly what being in Southeast Asia is all about. I think it's time to try some of that fried fish. So let's get a piece of that up. Crispy, golden fried fish. There may be bones in it, of course. You can see the white flesh inside. If I can show you, you can see the white flesh inside, and then that crunchy coating on the outside as a bone is pointing out at me. There are bones in it, so be careful. You wouldn't want to get that caught in your throat, would you? It's crispy, it's crunchy, but because it's been in the soup, the very outside of it has gone soft and a little bit chewy. Nice texture contrast in there. And of course, fried fish is always damn tasty. I tell you, that was absolutely fantastic. And it's just going to cost me 40k. Absolute bargain of street food.